and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. Yeah, I just tried to sing a little Johnny Cash. Welcome to Motivation Moment. I am so excited for you to be here, and if you're new, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Katie Fortune, and I am having a little fun this week. I actually did have that song on play loudly, and I was singing it even louder. Fun little fact, that song actually reminds me of my volleyball days in high school because our volleyball coach, shout out to Coach Lupke, she would play that over the loudspeakers as we were running our mile inside. I don't know why, but every time I hear that song, I think of running a mile in volleyball, and it makes me laugh though. So, why am I singing that song? I have another question for you. Who here has ever been burned out? That's what I want to talk about this week. Burnout. It's a real thing. And yeah, it stinks. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Burnout is the worst. And I don't want anyone to get there. I have been there. I have been there more than once, but one time significantly there. Like I was walking to the edge of the cliff, burnout. Like that, it was terrible. And it's not fun to be there. And if you're there, you're not alone. You are not alone. We all get there sometimes. I hope if you haven't, that you don't, because it's, again, not fun to be a part of. But there are things you can look for if you are getting to that point. And there are things you can do to help not get to that point. And I want to talk about a few today with you. I will be telling more in depth the story of this next week. So stay tuned for that. But right now, when you get to that point, and hopefully you don't get to that point, but when you start feeling some of these burnout feelings, here are some things to look for. 1, you're exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. Not just like physically, but mentally. If you start feeling brain fog, if you've never felt that, I am so grateful that you haven't. It's not something to want to feel. It's the worst. One of the worst things. But that foggy feeling that you don't even know what day it is. You don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know what you did 5 minutes ago. 2, everything irritates you. At least that's what happened with me. Like everything. Like someone looks at you wrong and you're like, whoa, why are you looking at me like that? And really, they just had an itchy nose and they were just like, yeah, been there, done that. Not fun. 3, your emotions are running wild. And that's not the same as irritation, and at least in my book, it's not. Like something simple happens and you burst into tears. Something else happens and you're curled up on the couch in the fetal position. Yeah, these are things that have happened to me. And last, 4th. The 4th thing that really hit me when I hit burnout was the realization of I didn't see anyone in my life. All I was doing was worrying about work, and I was working 60 to 80 hours a week. I had no time for anyone else. No, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I had the time, but I chose to work and not spend time with my loved ones. Now, that sounds all negative, right? I don't want to leave you on a negative note. There are things you can look out for. Those are some of the things you can look out for. There are things that can help you not get to those points. And when you start feeling those points and those triggers and those areas and people are saying things to you, there are things you can do to redirect that. First, set boundaries. I know, I talk about this all the time. Check out my video about boundaries that I did earlier this year. Boundaries is my word of 2020, and it has changed my life. 100% changed my life. Setting boundaries for you, yourself. So for me, I say, I have a day job, which means I work from morning to the evening. I have set times. Every day it kind of changes a little bit, but I have set times because it's putting boundaries in for myself so I don't go back to the 60 to 80 hours a week and burn out. It's not something I want anyone to experience. Second, have someone that you truly value, you look up to, and you appreciate their opinion to hold you accountable to some of those boundaries. So if you are going down a different pathway, they can say, hey, Katie, can you spend some time with me? You've been really, really busy over here, and I'd like a little bit of time, and I'm seeing these things going down that pathway. Now, you can't get mad at that person for telling you that. I had 3 people tell me something that changed my life completely for the better. Again, I'll talk more about that, and I do talk about it in my boundaries video. But having that person or people is very, very valuable for you not to keep going down that pathway. And third, having some sort of a routine that is positive and uplifting for you. So whether that's you go for a walk daily, whether that's you read a book in the morning, whether that's when you're feeling anxious, get outside. Get away from what's making you feel anxious and go do something else that lifts you up. That will help your brain get rid of all of that negativity or that stuff that's making you feel not yourself and get you back to yourself. Some of the things I do when I am very overwhelmed and a little bit stressed, especially the time we're living in right now, is I do go for a walk. I get outside. I take out the dog, let him run around. He makes me laugh every day. Something simple like that. I listen to a podcast, getting some positivity in me. I read a book. Any of those things can really help you. If you like to cook, if you like to go on a bike ride, if you like to go kayaking. Yes, a lot of my stuff are outside because I'm literally looking out my window and it's beautiful and all of those things I like to do. But whatever that positive, uplifting thing for you is, do it. Meditate, yoga. I could go on and on for days. So before you get to that burnout stage, or if you're feeling like you're going down that pathway to burnout, I truly suggest you talking to the people around you and your loved ones, coming up with a plan of things, simple things you can do to uplift yourself, not add more to what you need to do. The big one is setting those boundaries. And it is a huge uphill battle and struggle, but it is so worth it for you to not burn out. No one wants to burn in the ring of fire. No one. You can't tell me that you do. No one wants to. And I don't want you to. I have been there. You are not alone if you are there. And please, by all means, reach out if you are. I would love to help in any way I can, because it's a place that I never want to go back to. Because it was a very dark and lonely place for me when I was there. Do you want me to say it again? you so much for being here today. And as always, less hate, let's go motivate. Get out there, set some boundaries, put some positive things into your life, your daily routine, and don't burn out. Because again, no one wants to burn in the ring of fire. See ya. Subscribe and hit the little notification bell because then you'll be notified right away. Blah, 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 blah. Ugh. If you really loved me singing, and really loved this video actually, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. Subscribe and hit that little notification bell because then you will be notified when I post new videos. And don't forget to follow me on all the places: Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, because I am updating on some really fun things that are coming your way very soon.